पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय राधिकायै प्रियात्मने श्रीश्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण गोस्वामिनिति नामिने श्री कृष्ण लीला कथने सुदक्षम औदार्य माधुर्य गुणैशयुक्तम वरम वरेण्यम पुरुषम महांतम श्रीनारायणं त्वं शिरसा नमामि। त्रिदंडिनां भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपादाब्जधृतये हृदि चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारं नारायणं त्वं सततं प्रपद्ये। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत अमन गोस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय आचार्य सिंहरूपिणे श्रीश्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव इति नामिने। अतिमर्त्य चरित्राय स्वाश्रितानां च पालिने जीव दुःखे सदार्ताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने। गौराश्रये विग्रहाय कृष्ण कामैकचारिणे रूपानुगा प्रवराय विनोदिती स्वरूपिणे प्रभुपादंतरंगाय सर्वसत्गुणशालिने मायावातमोघ्नाय वेदांतर्थ नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने। श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्य उज्ज्वला प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगा भक्तिदा श्री गौरा करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत ध्वंतहारिणे। नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भ रसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंदनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते। गौराविर्भाव भूमेस्त्वं निर्दिष्ट सजना प्रिया वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जयतां सुरतौ पंगुः मम मंदः मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्भोजो श्रीराधा मदन मोहनो दिव्यवृंदारण्यकल्पद्रुमादा श्रीमद्रत्ना सिंहासनस्थौ श्री श्री राधा शील गोविंद देवौ प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्शन वेणु स्वनहि गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तु नः। ओम वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तवतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, everyone. All glories to Srila Gurudev, all glories to Pujyapad Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. So today is a very auspicious day, and even though we all wanted to gather in person to glorify these great two acharyas and hear from all the senior devotees in person, but by the arrangement of the destiny, we are all doing this virtually, but hopefully that would give us more time to speak and hear their glories. So we were going to start with Guru Vandana, and Haripriya was going to sing, but unfortunately she has a bad throat. So Subha Prabhu, would you like to sing the Guru Vandana? If we can unmute you. So
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Acha, Gurudev Kripa Karke, is that?
Yes. If you can sing that.
Okay, sure. Good. Gurudev Kripa Karke मुझको अपना लेना।
गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना।
मैं शरण पदा तेरी चरणों में जगा देना।
मैं शरण पड़ा तेरी चरणों में जगा देना।
चरणों में जगा देना। चरणों में जगा देना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना देना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। करुणा निधि नाम तेरा करुणा बरसाओ तुम। करुणा निधि नाम तेरा करुणा बरसाओ तुम। सोए हुए भाग्य को हे नाथ जगाओ।
आ रही है ना? हाँ, आ रही है?
नाथ जगाओ तुम। मेरी नाव भंवर डोले इस पार लगा देना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। तुम सुख के सागर हो भक्ति के सहारे हो, मेरे मन में समाये हो, मुझे प्राणों से प्यारे हो, मुझे प्राणों से प्यारे हो, नित्यमाला जपूं तेरी, मेरे दोष भुला देना, गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना, मैं संत का सेवक हूँ, गुरु चरणों का दास हूँ, कि नाथ भुलाना मुझे, इस जग में अकेला हूँ, इस जग में अकेला हूँ, तेरे द्वार का भिखारी हूँ, नहीं दिल से बुला देना, गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना, जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा, गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव, श्री गुरुदेव की
Jai. Jai. So now, since it's also Shri Gurudev's disappearance day, we'll sing Jayanilo Premadhana. Jayanilo Premadhana Karuna Prachur, Jayanilo Premadhana Karuna Prachur, Teno Prabhu Kotha Gela Acharya Thakur, Teno Prabhu Kotha Gela Acharya Thakur, Kaha Mora Swarup Rupa, Kaha Sanatan, Kaha Mora Swarup Rupa, Kaha Sanatan, Kaha Dasa Raghu Natha Patita Pavan, Kaha Dasa Raghu Natha Patita Pavan, Kaha Mora Bhata Juga, Kaha Kavira, Kaha Mora Bhata Juga, Kaha Kavira, Eko Kale Kotha Gela Gauranatara, Eko Kale Kotha Gela Gauranatara, Pashane Kuti Bo Masa, Anale Pashibo, Pashane Kuti Bo Masa, Anale Pashibo, Goranga Gunera Nidhi Kotha Gele Pabo, Goranga Gunera निधि कोथा गेले पाबो से सब संगीरा संगे जे कैलो विलास से सब संगीरा संगे जे कोइलो विलास से संगा ना पाइया कांदे नरोत्तम दास से संगा ना पाइया कांदे नरोत्तम दास जे अनिलो प्रेमाधना करुणा प्रचुर जे अनिलो प्रेमाधना करुणा प्रचुर हेनो प्रभु कोथा गेला आचार्य ठाकुर हेनो प्रभु गेला आचार्य ठाकुर जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा श्रील गुरुदेवा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल so I think some sound issue, but in case there is some sound problem, do let us know. So Hare Krishna everyone, and welcome today for this very auspicious celebration of Shri Gurudev's disappearance day, as well as the 100th appearance day of Pujyapa Shri Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Exactly 11 years ago, in 2010, it was by the Western calendar, this date only, December 28th, when we got the news that Shri Gurudev has left this mortal world. And around this time, all the devotees, we all got together, that time in the Blalock Hall. It was very difficult for everyone. Shri Gurudev, whom we looked upon for everything, he was a source of our spiritual life. It seemed as if we had become orphaned. It was very painful, but the association of all our beloved God brothers and God sisters helped each one of us get through that very difficult time. And every year, we all get together to remember his contributions, his teachings, and how he has mercifully touched the life of each and every one of us. So like every year, today also, we'll have several speakers who will share their realizations and help us remember Shri Gurudev more deeply, We should remember a Gurudev every moment of our life, and that's what our goal is. But especially the more we hear from the senior devotees, their realizations and their teachings, and the teachings of Gurudev, and his the deeper meaning of his teachings and his pastimes, the more it creates impressions on our hearts and minds, so we can remember him always. So I will first request Pujyapad Bhagwat Maharaj to speak. And we have, since we are doing it virtually, we do have some flexibility on the time, but still we will try to stick to our time limit. So if Maharaj, you can take the next 20 minutes and share your offering. So let me unmute you.
Hare Krishna. Mama Jnanatirmirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksuran Militan Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vichetanna Manobhistam Stabitan Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Karamaya Didanti Swapadantikam. First of all, I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Diksha Guru, Nitya Lila Pravishna Om Vishnu Pada Satara Sata Sisi Mad, the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Then I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Sannyas Guru, Nitya Lila Pravishna Om Vishnu Pada Satara Sata Sisi Mad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Acharya of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, Nitya Lila Pravishtom Vishnu Pada Satara Sata Sisi Mad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, all the great Acharyas in our lineage. My Dandavat pranams to one and all, and my Dandavat pranams to the feet of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are present here today. Hare Krishna. So, I remember being, during Kartik, I was in Delhi in the beginning when Gurudev was in Delhi, and then Gurudev moved to Govardhan. And we all moved to Govardhan to be with Srila Gurudev. At the time, everybody wanted to, who had some knowledge of natural healing or Western medical healing, whatever, wanted to participate in some way in Srila Gurudev's healing process. And so we used to have nightly meetings that were conducted by Brajesh Prabhu, who was a naturopathic doctor. And I attended those meetings. We had Western medical doctors, we had Chinese acupuncture and herbal doctors, we had masseuses, we had nutritionists, and we had a large group of people. It was like 25 people in the room, 30 people in the room. And different problems that Srila Gurudev was facing would be brought up, and then we would discuss what possible solutions could be there for the challenges that he was facing in his health, all with a hope that we might come up with a complete solution to his health condition. Dr. Ray from the Philippines was also coming there. and there was an allopathic medical doctor from Delhi who was executing the therapy that Dr. Ray had instituted, which was a infusion into the colon, an anal infusion into the colon, I think on a daily basis. And this was supposed to reduce the tumor that they saw there. So of course, all of this is, under the control of the sadhu. He was just giving us some way to serve him in sickness lila. It had nothing to do with the fact that he appeared to have cancer. In fact, I know for a fact that my sister had a tumor, and she sang for Gurudev at the 2008 festival in Alachua. She sang "My Sweet Lord" and chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, and got the whole group of devotees in the temple to chant. And after that, I brought her up on stage, and Gurudev gave her a garland, and no one knew that she had cancer and that she had a tumor. And when my sister had her test a few days later, the tumor was gone. So Srila Gurudev created a miracle. The doctor said, I don't understand. He said, the tumor was here just a couple of weeks ago, and now it's disappeared. He said, this is very unusual that a tumor can disappear so quickly. So Srila Gurudev, and this, my sister was not the only one. There's others that Srila Gurudev cured by his mercy and his potency. So there was no question that Gurudev had cancer, and that Gurudev couldn't cure himself if he wanted to, since he cured other people. This was just part of his pastimes, part of his sickness lila. And we participated in that by offering up our ideas. And finally, after there was two very significant times. And the one significant time was the day, which was 2 days before the day before my Guru Maharaj's disappearance day, when Srila Vaman Maharaj and Srila Trivikram Maharaj had left this world. In 2002, Srila Trivikram Maharaj left, and in 2004, Srila Vaman Maharaj had left. And everyone was thinking that in 2010, Srila Gurudev was going to leave on this day. And I remember being there in my room that night, and I walked out on the balcony, and I was watching. The devotees were wandering everywhere. There was little groups of devotees on the roof of the temple doing kirtan, in the garden doing kirtan, people chanting japa and staying up all night praying. There was a big kirtan going on in the temple room, and the whole atmosphere was surcharged, completely surcharged with the mood of the devotees praying that Srila Gurudev would not leave, that he would not leave this world, that he would stay in this world. And the whole night went on like this. Some of us couldn't sleep at all. If we slept, it was only for 2 or 3 hours. And there was prayers, and there was kirtans, and there was bhajans, and there was just a very intense atmosphere. And the next morning at dawn, when the word went out that Srila Gurudev had remained, that he had not left this world, that he remained there, there was a palpable ecstasy that just streamed through the atmosphere of all the devotees who now had hope, real hope, that Srila Gurudev was going to stay much longer now. And after a number of different suggestions by what we called the health committee that Srila Gurudev adopted, a few days later, coming closer to the end of Kartik, Srila Gurudev got out of bed, and he came in a wheelchair, and they wheelchaired him out to the door of his quarters, and he waved at everyone. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. When all the devotees saw Srila Gurudev again animated and functioning and waving and saying a few words to nourish our bhakti. And so at that point, we became very excited. It was then suggested by one of the people in the health committee, I forget who, it could have been Dr. Ray himself at that point, that because of, and we've all experienced the air quality in Govardhan during Kartik is especially harsh, between the cutting down of the cane and the hay and the burning of the fields and other things. The atmosphere is just filled with smoke and dust. And the devotees, of course, all become sick. Respiratory illnesses abound. And we all felt that Srila Gurudev's ability to breathe better would be served if he was in Jagannath Puri. And he also agreed that he wanted to go to Jagannath Puri. And so that's when he left. He went to Jagannath Puri. And he was there for some time. I did not follow Gurudev to Jagannath Puri. I went to Bombay because I had already set up programs in Bombay with a following of Indian people that I have down there. And I was in Bombay. And to set this up a little bit, I wanted to say, from my background and knowledge, I never had the good fortune of meeting Srila Vaman Maharaj. Never had the opportunity. I had planned on doing it in 2004 when I visited for Kartik, and he expired before I could get to Navadvip. So Srila Gurudev and Srila Vaman Maharaj had a very special relationship. The night that Srila Gurudev left from his home to go and join Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he didn't inform anyone what he was doing. He just left. And yet somehow or other, when he showed up there in Navadvip at the train station, Srila Vaman Maharaj was present. And they had a very intimate and powerful relationship. They were very devoted to each other and the progress of their Gurudev's mission. So I was in Bombay and I got a call from Damodar Maharaj. And Damodar Maharaj, you know, I was asking him, I wanted to talk with him. We were chatting, I think on Facebook Messenger, that what is the situation with Gurudev? I wanted to know because I could see that we were not getting much. Rajaнаth was not being very informative about what was going on with his health. And we were not getting information about his progress or his regression. And we wanted to get that information. And so I asked Damodar Maharaj, and he said to me, it doesn't look good. He was there in Puri. And he said to me that Srila Gurudev had stopped eating and practically stopped drinking. And that he was complaining repeatedly that he said, what Damodar Maharaj told me is that Gurudev was saying, I wanted to leave. I wanted to go during Kartik, but you all kept praying again and again for me to stay. And so you forced me to stay here. I remember this was a big theme that I used in writing my reports on Facebook about how Srila Prabhupada was what was important to keep Srila Prabhupada in this world was that we were praying for, we were showing him our love, our affection, that we wanted him to stay. And so I wanted that mood, that atmosphere should be prevalent amongst the devotees. And I kept promoting that in the Facebook posts that I was making, and the devotees were very receptive to it, and they were praying very hard with great devotion that Gurudev should remain. And so he said, because you all prayed like this is what Damodar Maharaj told me. He said, because all of you were praying like this, I stayed. He said, I wanted to leave, which indicates that he wanted to leave on the day of Vaman Maharaj and Trivikram Maharaj's disappearance. Then Damodar Maharaj told me that Srila Gurudev said that he stopped eating and then he stopped drinking. I mean, he basically was cutting himself off from nourishment. And he wanted to prepare himself to leave. And this phone call took place the night before Srila Vaman Maharaj's appearance day. And then the next morning about 3 a.m., I looked at the Facebook page. I woke up. I woke up with a start at 3 a.m. And I somehow went to the Facebook page, which I usually don't do at that time. And I could see some indication from Brajanath that Srila Gurudev had left. And therefore, on Srila Vaman Maharaj's disappearance day, Srila Gurudev, appearance day, Srila Vaman Maharaj's appearance day, Srila Gurudev out of his intimate love and affection for his dear friend, decided to finally leave this world. Damodar Maharaj told me that in no uncertain terms that Srila Gurudev said, I don't want to be here any longer. I want to leave. I want to leave. So the Guru chooses when he comes, the Guru chooses when he goes. It's under his control. The external circumstances, that there was a tumor or this or that or whatever, are just external circumstances, part of sickness Leela, part of some other Leela, whatever. But the reality is that whether he stays or whether he goes, he decides. The only thing that is in our ability is that we can pray and offer as much service as we can to get him the proper medical care, the proper support, diet, living conditions, etc. We could do everything we can to serve him in that sickness Leela. That's the only control we have over the situation, is to do service. And by doing that service, he draws us closer and closer and closer into him, and makes it deeper. Increases the intensity of the relationship as the disciple hankers to not lose the association of the sadhu. So these were just a few of my observations about the situation since I was present there. I went from Bombay, I flew that morning to Calcutta and then took the taxi up to Navadvip. Srila Gurudev, meanwhile, had been driven from Jagannath Puri to Navadvip. And when I arrived on Vaman Maharaj's appearance day in the evening, he was lying on a bed of ice. And they prepared him for the samadhi. We dug the pit where he was going to be interned. And they made a palanquin from a chair with which to carry him from the Keshaji Gaudiya Math to the Devananda Gaudiya Math, where he could take his final darshan of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj.
Maharaj,
And after,
you're running out of time. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you want to hear this. All right.
You can just finish this and then we, yeah.
Okay, well. So we then, they returned, and after he returned, we disrobed him and we bathed him on stage in front of everybody with the Panchagavya. And then after the bathing, he was brought to the veranda of his house. And sitting on the veranda, Madhav Maharaj and Tirtha Maharaj performed the ceremony in which they put the mantras on his chest and they did everything. And they did that for a reason, because Haryatak Maharaj was coming and he was going to try and do that and then claim that he was the one who interred Gurudev into the Samadhi. and that he performed the last rites. So they performed it before they brought him into the Samadhi pit. And then they brought him into the Samadhi pit, and then the devotees began to put earth on Srila Gurudev, first salt. They put the salt and then the earth, and then he was covered completely. And that was the end of his internment into the Samadhi. So I was fortunate to be present for that. I also had a very good fortune of getting the cloth that was wrapped around his head to hold his head in place when he was brought to Devananda Gaudiya Math. And I have some of that cloth. I've cut it up into small pieces. I have some flower garlands that I got from Gurudev, and I dried them out and I made the petals. And the petals of the flower garlands were are there. I have them. If you don't have them, if you haven't received it, I give them out, little pieces of cloth with the petals from the garland of that day when Srila Gurudev departed from this world.
Okay.
So you can get them from me. I have them here.
Okay.
So thank you very much for the opportunity to talk a little bit about Srila Gurudev's departure. We're all very fortunate to have his association. He lifted us up from the bondage of material contamination, and he gave us an opportunity to make advancement in bhakti. And for this, we're eternally grateful. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.
Thanks, Maharaj, for your beautiful offering and sharing the last pastimes of Shri Gurudev. I remember when Gurudev was once at our home in this exactly the same area where I'm sitting right now, and one family came and the husband was very sick because of cancer, and Shri Gurudev blessed him and he was completely cured. So you're right, he cured so many. Of course, our acharyas never talk about these mystic potencies, but this was Shri Gurudev's Leela, that he wanted to leave this world, manifesting as if he was suffering from this disease, but no disease can affect the eternally liberated personalities like Shri Gurudev. So thanks for sharing his last pastimes. I will now request Gopijan Valla Prabhu, who's also a very senior disciple of Shri Gurudev and initiated disciple of Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, to please share his realizations. And again, if Prabhuji, you can just do it within the next 15-20 minutes, we'll appreciate that. Okay.
I'm on already? Yeah. But they don't. Yes, it's on.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Gurave Gaura Janjaya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Thank you very much. All obeisances to Guru Parampara and all the Vaishnavas, assembled Vaishnavas. I wanted to impress upon all the devotees that Srila Gurudev is a manifestation of the external Supreme Lord himself. And according to his qualifications, which we all know, Gurudev had so many good qualities. His kindness, his forgiveness, his mercy, his learning, his Vani, his Vapu, his practical examples showing us what is the way and what we should look forward to, is why the Guru Parampara is there, to show by practical example and practical teachings and behavior, so that we can grasp and have a taste for that particular thing which he's empowered to give. Through the Guru Parampara, since time immemorial, has been elevating all the jivas in the spiritual and material world according to their capabilities to grasp the subject matter. So Srila Gurudev's mission was not very easy. He had much opposition, giving bhakti ras, of course, because at this particular time, many people didn't agree with it. There are many oppositions coming from ISKCON and different, even from within the Gaudiya Math. So Gurudev, because he was empowered with special powers, he was able to do that very cleverly. How to inject it into our hearts, into your hearts. The teachings which Mahaprabhu came to give at this particular time in the evolution of the Guru Parampara, specifically in the Kali Yuga, which is very dangerous age. So Bhakti Ras is not an easy subject matter to understand. It takes many life of Sukriti. But Gurudev was so expert at it, he injected that into us every day. By what was he saying? I'm teaching you what is the ultimate thing which will please me, which Mahaprabhu wanted to give, was that you should, practically every day he said this, I want to be Palyadasi of Srimati Radharani. So basically speaking, because of his Vapu and Vani, we are here now following his teachings because he had so much power and so much determination and so much force, although due to opposition, he didn't back down for one moment. I remember when I was in Mathura with him many times, we were writing different papers on the philosophy taught by Mahaprabhu, which was tried to be counteracted by different persons in different parts of the world, which I don't really want to mention names. But I was sitting with Gurudev in his room and we were talking about it. And finally he said, listen, he said, this is not our ultimate goal of life, to engage in, controversies and things. Our real goal is bhajan. We should, because in order to reach the highest level, which he was trying to project into our hearts, we must perform bhajan, not argument and philosophical. This was done by the previous acharyas, by Srila Prabhupada, by Bhaktisiddhanta, by Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada, both Srila Prabhupads, Bhaktisiddhanta and Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, they had to cut the grounds. So Sambandha was there to cut the grounds. Narayan Maharaj came in as the secondary wave, and he injected into the world the process of Raganuga Bhakti, which was the main mission or the main teachings which Mahaprabhu came to give. And while I was sitting in the room with him, he looked around and he said, no more, we should focus on our bhajan. This is my heart. I want to give this to you, so please, no more arguments, he said. And it was really, really an emotional time at that time. He said, with great force, I am so strong, he said, I can defeat the entire world. And everybody was there was a few people in the room at that time. I was there maybe in the early 90s when I first met Srila Gurudev. And so it was such a powerful exclamation from his heart, because everything Srila Gurudev said was so, he was such a straightforward person and very direct, So it was so powerful that it stayed with me. This is my personal realization. It stayed with me even now, 25 years later, 30 years later, that his real mission was to get us to perform actual deeper meditation, which through the evolution was kind of come to a climax, which because he gave us the Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan very cleverly, because no one really understood at that time what was the ultimate goal. Srila Sridhar Maharaj opened it up a little bit more. Gaur Govinda Maharaj opened it up a little bit more. But Srila Gurudev took the opportunity to give us the full panacea of the Bhakti Ras. And he did it so cleverly that we as devotees, we should understand that Gurudev loved us so much that he tolerated all kinds of abuses verbally, even to the point where I went into his room one day and I told him that he should be very careful. And he told me, yes, he said, you know, they may try to poison me, they may do anything. So he told me, he said, you should protect me. He said, because anything can happen. So of course, our real glory in being disciples of Srila Gurudev would be to actually follow his inner heart's desire, which is to take to the process of Raganuga Bhakti and serve him and serve his ultimate teachings. So without his personal examples, which he was so brilliant at, I remember when I first met Gurudev, I was so attracted to him. Why? Because I knew he loved me. We were on Paracams many times, and Gurudev, he always was asking me to come and be near him during classes and walks. And he made me feel very wanted. So because I knew he loved me, this is why I can, you know, try to follow the teachings. And this would be everyone's glory if they more considered the fact that this would please Gurudev so much if we actually tried to follow a little bit closer. I know it's very difficult for me also, everyone. It is such a hard thing to take to the, you know, the higher teachings of Raganuga Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti into Raganuga Bhakti. But if we actually endeavor to fulfill the desires which Srila Gurudev gave us, he will definitely empower us with the ability and the intelligence and the desire, because Gurudev said, Prabhupada came to give you faith, and I came to give you the teachings in a more palatable way, because Prabhupada's teachings in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and his other books, they were all there. He said, Prabhupada gave this to you, but at that time, no one could understand it because Prabhupada didn't really focus on it. So this was Gurudev's glories. I was with him maybe 20 years, 25 years, and Gurudev told me many times, he said, maybe after 25 years, you will understand this much. And I told him and I asked him, I said, Gurudev, I don't really have very many qualifications. I'm not a scholar. I'm not very good at different types of things. He said, don't worry. He said, if you're submissive, this is the thing that is the most important thing for a disciple, not his learning, not his education, not his qualities. It's not, mostly it's submissiveness, because Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, just approach a spiritual master, be inquisitive, submissive to him, inquire, he'll impart knowledge unto you. So we should all not think that Srila Gurudev is gone. He is not gone. He's here all the time. I have so many dreams of Srila Gurudev, maybe 3 a week. I have Gurudev. And so I just want to mention a few things about Srila Gurudev's loving affection towards the devotees, which I'm sure everyone has a practical experience of. He was very friendly, very loving. And when I first met Srila Gurudev, immediately I liked him. And there was some controversy after some time about Srila Prabhupada giving Harinam and Diksha over tapes. And so I went to Srila Gurudev and I asked him, I said, Srila Gurudev, I said, people are saying I'm not even initiated by Srila Prabhupada because I didn't hear it in my ear, which is generally the submissive way to hear the mantras. So he said, so what do you think? And I said, well, I said, I think I'm initiated by. So he said, so what's the problem? He said, there's no problem. But then like 2 seconds later, he turned around and he looked at me and he said, you come to my room and I will give you the mantras again. So one day, that day, or the next day, I went to Srila Gurudev's room and he's sitting there on his bed. And he told me, okay, you sit here. I think maybe just Dvija Krishna was there. So I sat down. It was very exciting just to be around Gurudev because he was like an ocean of good qualities. He totally uplifted your consciousness. So I was totally charmed and mesmerized by his personality. So I sat down and he began to describe me the mantras, Brahma Gayatri. And when he got to his Guru Maharaj, he practically had tears rolling down his cheeks. And I was so happy to hear his particular emotions and his moods. And I felt like he was injecting it into me. What should be the disciple's mood towards his guru? And I felt he gave that to me. And I know that he did give that to me because I also felt like that for Gurudev through my whole association with him. His Sangha was just so beautiful and so amazing. So after that, he told me personally, he said, he started telling me a story about his Guru Maharaj, how his Guru Maharaj would, Bhakti Siddhanta was his guru's guru. So Keshava Maharaj used to come back in the middle of the night and he would knock on Bhakti Siddhanta's door and Bhakti Siddhanta would let him in his room. He was telling me all this. So he said then he would sleep underneath his bed. So he was so affectionate to me that he told me, he said, you can come in my room anytime you want. He said, and you can sleep under my bed anytime you want. So he was nourishing us with his love and affection, not only with his Siddhanta, which was very deep and very hard to follow. And unless you really desired it, this was his real focus. He wanted to give us the desire. He told us many times, like in a burning place, there's some coating, that coating will come within your hearts. I want to give you some scars. So I'm giving this, although there's some opposition, and he did that. And that was basically what I feel was Gurudev's glories, and it was his mission. Why was it his mission? Because Srila Prabhupada asked him to. Srila Prabhupada told him, he said, I wanted to give Krishna Prem, not only Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, but Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He also had the same mission that he was told that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested me personally to give this Madhurya Ras Manjari Bhav to the world. And he said I couldn't do it. So at the time when Bhakti Siddhanta was leaving, he gathered all the devotees in the world and he told them, he said, I only have one request. You please cooperate with each other. He said, I'm not happy. He said, Mahaprabhu has asked me to give this Madhurya Ras and I couldn't do it. So I'm requesting you all, please, you follow my heart and you take association in Sadhu Sangha, specifically the sadhus who are Tattvagya Madhurya Ras, and follow their teachings, and this will please me very much. And then he left the world. So Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj also, he told in a lecture in Badger, he said the same thing. He said, I also wanted to give this, but what Western persons were eligible? How could they understand? They couldn't even understand what Shiksha Guru was at that time. We couldn't even understand practically any, it was so basic, but he was giving us faith. And Narayan Maharaj is giving us the desire to increase that faith, to follow through, giving us his teachings, which is Abhideya and Prayojan Tattva. So if we can somehow or other give up our personal inclinations and take to the teaching specifically on this day, if we can make like almost like a sankalpa or a prayer to Gurudev to please help us all so that we can fulfill your heart's desire. Gurudev will be so happy. And he told us in the next life, we will also do bhajan. So if many people fall away when the Guru leaves because they haven't had enough personal association. And without that personal Vani and Vapu, specifically, I think the personal physical form of the spiritual master or any self-realized soul is extremely important. Whenever you can get it, you should take it. And Srila Gurudev is there in his Vani and his Vapu still in our hearts because he gave us that beej. That beej is there. And if we cultivate it, then we'll see Gurudev at every moment. Not that he's only gone to another place. He's not like eternally gone. And if we think like that, then we haven't really understood the teachings of the Guru Parampara. He's there eternally for us to take advantage of. Like one time Gaur Govinda Maharaj told, he said, you're a Srila Prabhupada. He is there in the spiritual world, but he has one eye on you and he's making all your arrangements. So Srila Prabhupada arranged through Srila Gurudev to further our teachings. And through Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Prabhupada fulfilled his desires. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati fulfilled desires. In that way, the parampara has evolved to the present day, which is the topmost why Mahaprabhu comes to give this specific thing that hasn't been given in millions or more than that lifetimes. So I just wanted to give another example of Srila Gurudev's mercy. If I have a few minutes, 2 minutes left.
Just
So
2 minutes.
Srila Gurudev, when it just, maybe a year before he was leaving, I realized that he was going. So my last remembrance of Srila Gurudev, I will give you, and everyone can maybe, it would increase their love for Srila Gurudev. I went into his room. It was in Gopinath Bhavan upstairs. He had a bhajan kutir upstairs. And in that bhajan kutir, he was there. He had his own room and I walked into his room and no one was there. And he was sitting on his bed. And I very boldly went to him and I sat on the bed right next to him, like this far away, And he reached over to me and he started to rub my arm with so much deep love and affection. And immediately, because he had the power to change your heart, he softened my heart immediately. And I also reached over to him and I put my arm on his shoulder and we were both like this, and it was such a loving exchange with Gurudev, and things like that increase our faith and our dedication and devotion, because dedication and devotion is the main ingredient of bhakti, sharanagati, and surrender. And I'd just like to thank you all for giving me an opportunity to remember the beautiful pastimes and association of Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji, so much for such a beautiful offering from your heart. I felt like to continue hearing more and more, and hopefully we can get more opportunity, especially on Srila Gurudev's appearance day, to hear more from you. You mentioned so many beautiful points, especially that how Gurudev speciality was he came to give what Mahaprabhu had come to give. The previous acharyas wanted to give that, but because of the circumstances, they were not able to. But they laid the ground and they had left this very important work for Srila Gurudev to fulfill. So thanks for sharing that. And then Gurudev was very focused on that. He never deviated his attention from fulfilling the order of his Guru Varga, which is to establish the teachings of Mahaprabhu, what Mahaprabhu came to give, Unnat Ujjwal Ras. And many times, in business also, they say it's not so important what all you do, it's important what you don't do. So you have to focus if you want to be successful. And Shri Gurudev was so focused because he would never spend even a moment in anything which was not directly related to fulfilling this mission. And Shri Gurudev, as you said, in every lecture, somehow or the other, he would conclude it, even though he may start by the Bhagavad Gita, even if it was a lecture on Bhagavad Gita, but he would somehow conclude by telling us that how our goal, ultimate goal, is to become a Paledasi of Srimati Radhika. And this is one thing each and every disciple and grand disciple and anyone who has heard Shri Gurudev knows. And then you mentioned how Shri Gurudev's love was oceanic and he drowned all of us in his love. And if we can just become qualified, I personally can say I'm not qualified for the love that he showered, but I think that's what our goal is, to become his true disciples and share what he has shared with all of us. So thanks once again for sharing this beautiful offering, and hope to hear from you more soon. So next I will request Shripad Ramchand Prabhuji to share something with us. Prabhuji was not well, but he has very kindly agreed to come on this video call and share with us his offering. So Prabhuji.
ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्नमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण गोस्वामी इति नामने श्रीकृष्ण लीला कथने सुदक्षम् उदारे मधुरे गुणेश्च युक्तम् परं वरेण्यं पुरुषं अहंतम् नारायणं तमां शिरसा नमामि। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम। First of all, I pay my innumerable obeisances to lotus feet of my most beloved and revered Gurudev, Nitya Leela Par Vishnu, Vishnupad, Ashtotar Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And also I pay my innumerable obeisances to most beloved and revered our Acharya Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Vedanta, Vaman Goswami Maharaj, whose disappearance and appearance day we are celebrating together. And to a whole Guru Parampara and to all Vaishnava and Vaishnavis present here. Yes, I am having fever, but still I will try to speak something, whatever will come in my mind. Today is very auspicious day. Appearance day of one Acharya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And disappearance day of our Acharya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Narayan Goswami Maharaj. As very rightly Pujpad Bhaktivinoda Bhagavat Maharaj said that when Srila Gurudeva was in Govardhan and it was day of disappearance day of Pujpad Bhaktivinoda Trivikram Maharaj and Pujpad Bhaktivinoda Vaman Goswami Maharaj, we were skeptical that Srila Gurudev probably will leave on this day. The whole night we were chanting with the aim that he should not leave, and he did not. He did not leave. Whatever we had a misapprehension He cleared it. Then he came to Delhi, and from Delhi he went to Jagannath Puri. No one knew it. It will happen. That exactly on the date of disappearance of his Guru Bhai, Nitya Leela Pravishnu, appearance of his Guru Bhai, Nitya Leela Pravishnu Vishnupad Astota Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, he left. It was 29th in India and 28th in Houston. I was in Houston at that time. Acharya performs their disappearance pastimes. It is very painful. But today we have to celebrate both painful and celebration. Means appearance and disappearance both. I remember my days with Srila Gurudeva when he was performing his pastime of Aswastha Leela, sickness pastime. We were in Govardhan and our Braj Mandal Parikrama was going on. I remember our Parikrama went to Barsana. We all were doing Parikrama with heavy heart because we know Gurudev is painful. He's sick. His disease is very fatal type. We were very unhappy. Just as we reached at the Barsana Ladli temple, generally Pushpa Tirth Maharaj, he speaks something there. He could not speak. He gave mic to me. And when I took mic, I started crying and weeping. I said to Radharani, Radharani, you cannot feel the pain of Krishna at all. Even if you imagine that Krishna may have pain, you just become restless. Now see our condition. Our Gurudev is having a pain. We cannot bear it. We pray you. And at that time I spoke, if you want to take him with you, you may, but he should not have pain. And I remember, mostly since then, and before that, Gurudev became quiet, mum. He used to speak very less. And he never showed his pain also. Never showed his any problem also. Tears were coming from his eyes and devotees were wiping him. We were thinking it was just tears, but in fact, it was his Ashta Sattvic Bhav. He was showing his Ashta Sattvic Bhav. I remember some ISKCON Acharya came to see him in Govardhan. And he said like this is Prarabdha. Everyone has to face. That's all. He was again brought to Delhi for some days. When he was in Delhi, Madhapriya Prabhu and many devotees were taking care of him. I used to go to him, see him with very serious eyes, pay my obeisances to him. So once Madhama Madhav Prabhu said to Gurudev, Ramchandra Das is asking, why are you performing this pastime? Sickness pastime. Then Gurudev, do you know what he said? Gurudev said, my disciple will think that I am giving opportunity to them to serve his Gurudev, their Gurudev. So these pastimes are performed by Gurudev so that disciples should get opportunity to serve him. And then again he said, but to me, it is my prarabdha. To me, it is my prarabdha. And to my disciple, they should think that I am giving them opportunity to serve. They should not think that I am suffering. It's a very critical point. Generally, we think that Gurudev is suffering. We don't think that he is giving us opportunity to serve. This is a very important point. Another day, again, I was sitting in front of him, and Madhapriya Prabhu was there. And he again asked, Ramchandra Das is asking, what should he do? What should he do? And then he became, alert. He will hear my katha and preach it everywhere. So since then, I was thinking, how can I hear his katha when he is stopping his pastime? Now I realized, because of our audio seva team and so many team, so many kathas are coming daily basis. And we all are able to hear it. And I am also hearing it. And hearing it, also sharing it also. This is what Srila Gurudev taught me. And Gurudev went to Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri, he became very stern, serious. He never spoke anything and gave never a smile on his face. Vrinda Didi told me that you used to make him laugh, smile. You should do something for him. I said to him, Gurudev, I am sitting in front of you and you are so serious. But he did not hear. Then I put my fingers on it. Please smile. Give your smile. But he did not smile. He asked, this is the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu drowned in Radharani's mood of separation. So he was in the mood of Mahaprabhu's separation mood and thinking all those pastimes. Meanwhile, I was supposed to come to USA as my preaching trip. And I asked that, should I cancel my program? No, you should go. He became alert at that time. He was not speaking anything. He was very serious, very stern. No, you go. And he tricked me. I thought that he will have a pastime, long pastime. May go till Gaur-Mandal Parikrama. But when I came within a week, I came to know. I was in Houston at about 3 p.m. here. The same time it was 3 p.m. probably in Delhi, 3 a.m. in Delhi. He disappeared. I rang to Vrinda Didi and he said, yes, he did. It was a big jolt. I could not bear it. I was feeling so sad. Why did I come to US? I took the earliest flight to go back to India. As can I? As Vishnu told, we had a program in Houston. I went to New Jersey also. We had program there also. From there, I came to India. Nowadays, we are listening his katha. Yesterday, he spoke so nicely about Guru Tattva. He said, who is Guru? We should know how should we select Guru. In India, once upon a time, there was a big differences between India and China. Indians were not able to get the Chinese goods. They were not having direct trade. But Nepal was having. Nepal has connection with China also, with India also. So those who wanted Chinese goods, they will go to Nepal and they will get the goods of China from Nepal. Nepal is a place where you can get Chinese goods. Similarly, Guru is the person who belongs to a spiritual world, and he can give you the thing of a spiritual world because he belongs to that world. And he comes to you. This means he very fairly and very clearly describes that those who have not come from a spiritual world, they are not in real sense true Guru. The qualification of Guru is who comes from a spiritual world. And this he was talking about his god brother, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And he was saying that he came from a spiritual world. Similarly, our Gurudev came from the spiritual world. And he wanted to give us something which is very clearly stated by Srila Rupa Goswami for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anarpit charim chirat karuna avtiran kalo, samarpit unnat ujjwal rasam svabhakti shriyam, haripurat sundar dati kadam sandivta, sada hirde kandade sfrutu va shachi nandana. The thing which was not offered by any of our acharya and any of our avatars, since very, very long time, unarpit, which was not given. Charim Churat, since long time, Mahaprabhu came to give that rarest most thing to us. What was that rarest most thing? Unnat Ujjwal Bhakti Rasam Shriyam. Love of gopis is of Unnat Ujjwal Ras. And Shriyam is the love of Manjaris. Mahaprabhu gave to distribute Manjari's bhav. And Srila Gurudev, he caught this line that this is purpose of Mahaprabhu and this is purpose of our acharyas coming in his line. Why should I compromise in less? He wanted to give this thing to us. So he was saying that Gurudev comes from that world, and that world is Golok Vrindavan. That world where there is Madhurya Bhav, where there is Manjari Bhav. And from that world, a Manjari is sent by Radharani to us. She sent Raman Manjari to us. And this Raman Manjari in the form of Gurudev. And Gurudev is saying this thing, that it is all activity of Ahladani Shakti, and Ahladani Shakti is Radharani. And all his Kaya view, his gopis, they all are female, but they come here as in the form of male. Guru comes in the form of male. We can connect and relate very easily to understand whole things. Some females also come, like Ganga Matas. And he quoted many female, like Janma Devi. But mostly the potency, this gopis in the form of Purusha, they descend here. And they give us that thing which was not given since a long time. So he was telling about so much important things of Guru Tattva, that Guru means who comes from a spiritual world. And also today is appearance day of Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And he told very good things about him. He said that I have so many things in my pitara, pitara box about him. If I am allowed, I can keep on speaking. Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, his name was Santosh. Hardly he was 9 years old when his mother brought him to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. His mother was disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And his father was disciple of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshavji Goswami Maharaj, our Param Gurudev. Srila Gurudev also told one story, that the brother of Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj's brother. Later on, he was given the name of Narsingh Maharaj in Math. He was doing very nice services. And suddenly, he was on a very high post of government officials. And suddenly, once he was going and he heard some bhajan in his ear, Bengali bhajan, telling that what is the human life. First we come in womb, how we suffer in womb. Then we come out of womb. We take oath in womb that we will not do any wrong thing, but we start doing wrong things after we come out of womb. And then we get entangled with our parents, then sister, brother, then friends, then wife, then children. We totally forget God. And then we become old. No one takes our care. And we become in a very pitiable condition. And then we die. Where is the happiness? Happiness is only when we go to God. We go to Krishna. When he heard this bhajan, he said, then why I am doing this all things of material world? And he left this material world and he started going with him, and he met with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, where he was given the name Narsingh Maharaj. And he gave all his duties to Satish Chandra, who was father of Santosh, that is Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj.
Prabhuji, we are running out of time now. So if you can wrap up.
Okay. वो पहले बोल देते, मैं तो कभी भी रैप कर सकता हूँ. Rapping. So I am taking something and speaking about Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj because it is his appearance day also. He was encyclopedia. He knew innumerable number of shlokas. His memory was very sharp. And he became Acharya of Sri Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. Our Gurudev and he had a very close relationship. Gurudev told many pastimes of Sri Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, which we can discuss sometimes later on when we will have time. But important thing is that in today's context, when there is so important day, appearance of one Maharaj and disappearance of another Maharaj, means they have some correlation with each other. It is something like this that he came, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj came and he took our Gurudev with him. They were so close. So we fall down on the lotus feet of both of them, both of Acharyas. They are standing in front of us. Whether you are coming or you are going, you are always in a spiritual world. You came from a spiritual world to give us Unnat Ujjwal Rasam Bhakti Shriyam Manjari Bhav. You are Raman Manjari. Please bestow your mercy to us. You came to give us greed for it. More greed will come in us and more progress we will do. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a beautiful offering. The time limit prevents us from hearing on and on, but hopefully we can get to hear more. And Prabhuji was mentioning about these lectures of Shri Gurudev that have been coming through the audio Seva team's efforts. So very, very inspiring. If you have not heard, please hear both the Hindi and English lectures. And Shri Gurudev in this lecture only, where he's describing Guru Mahima and also the glories of Pujyapat Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, he was telling how to really celebrate these days of appearance and disappearance. He says we can arrange a big, huge festival, but all our mind and energy will be in doing decorations, inviting people, cooking feast. All of that is good, but there'll be no time to sit and reflect on the teachings of our Gurudev. No tears will come in the eyes because we are only running around and doing so many things. So Gurudev was so much about the internal, not so much about the external. So we certainly, pray to his lotus feet that we can imbibe the mood that Shri Gurudev gave, so we can go more deeper in our bhajan and understand what the true teachings of Shri Gurudev are. So thank you once again, Prabhuji. I will now request Tarun Krishna Prabhu. And the next set of speakers, we have 5 or 6 more speakers, but I will request everyone to take about 7 to 8 minutes, and certainly not more than 10 minutes. So please time yourself and try to stay within the time limit. Thank you. Tarun Krishna Prabhuji, we can...
I am on and started the video.
Okay.
And hope you all can hear me. Vande Guru Padadandam Kripa Murti Ramanam Maya Padutamo Hanta Rupa Nugabhaktidam Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jeno Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'd like to pay obeisances million folds at the lotus feet of my instructing, initiating spiritual master, Om Vishnupada Ashtotar Shato Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Next, I'd like to pay obeisances at the lotus feet of the dear God brother of Bhaktivedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta, Vaman Goswami Maharaj. We are celebrating their disappearance and appearance day respectively. For the sake of time, we really cannot discuss in detail the qualifications, the pastimes, and the activities of these divine personalities. Krishna is very kind, and he sends all these divine personalities just to help us turn our face toward him. I am specifically talking about myself. I was a Godas, the servant of my senses. And here I am. It is a miracle that I realize myself and think sometimes that who used to know me in my college days or in my university days cannot imagine who I am now. And they always are expressing their surprise, astonishment, how you could do this, how you could do that. However, I know within my mind that it's all Srila Gurudev's mercy. He is the personification of the downpour of the condensed cloud of compassion of Sri Krishna. Guru's definitions are all over the scriptures that we discuss primarily. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc., and so many Vaishnava literatures talk about the glories of Sri Guru. We have heard in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jai Krishna Tattva Betta, Shei Guru Hai, Kiba Vipra Kiba Nashi, Shudro Kene Koi. So anyone can be a guru who is Krishna Betta. But I feel that our Gurudev was even more than that. He was Radha Tattva Betta. He was completely devoted to his Swamini. I got his Ahituki Kripa, causeless mercy. As I told you before, I had been very fortunate, although very unqualified, to have the opportunity to spend few minutes of his exclusive time only with me for several years. I can tell you privately how it happened, but what I want to mention here publicly is that was something that was arranged by himself. During those days, I was able to do some intimate service to him, which is called Vishrambha Seva. I never thought of Gurudev as someone who is full of opulence, full of divine qualities, so must be worshipped and prayed to and looked upon as someone with awe and reverence. I had a feeling of he is a father-like personality who has some Laukik Sadbandhuvat Sambandha. That's why when he was very, very sick for about a month in the hospital, came back, I saw his condition and I was full of tears. The goal of my life, I like to just express and pray to both the divine personalities, and whatever I'm saying here applies to both of them. For the sake of time, I will not have time to pay separate respects and offer Shraddhanjali to each of them. But whatever I say about my spiritual master applies also to Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. What I want is a feeling of separation from Srila Gurudev. That is the platform that allows us to do bhajan in Vipralambha mood for Radha Krishna. That is the real Gauriya mood and the speciality of our Guru Parampara. As you have heard from Pujapad Bhagavat Maharaj, Pujapad Ramchandra Prabhu and Gopijana Vallabh Prabhu, all of the special qualities of Gurudev and the mercy that everyone feels they are showered with when they meet Srila Gurudev. I already mentioned so much causeless mercy that I received, and the realization that I have, I want to share with you a few of those.
Prabhuji, if you can wrap up.
Okay. I will just mention only one, that Gurudev was the foremost Rupanuga devotee, and he was very close confidant of Srila Rupa Goswami. You will hear him speak Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadhyana Britam every time he speaks. So in Ujjal Nirmali, when I read this Mangala Charanam that says Nama Krishna Rasagga Shilena Uddipayans Rasanandam Sadanandam Nijarupata Sabadai Sanatan Atma Prabhur Jayati. 6 qualities mentioned there, they all apply to Srila Gurudev. Similarly, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, 26 qualities are mentioned by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself in Madhya Leela, and They are all those qualities I find in Srila Gurudev. These things are not mundane qualities. They are all divine qualities. If we look at the definition of the words following suggestive mood, the Lakshana Vritti, which is mentioned by Param Gurudev as Viddat Rudha Vritti. So these are the ones that we really can discuss in detail to glorify Srila Gurudev more. I will end here with a verse to pray to Srila Gurudev. Sri Rupamanabhishtam Pratishthitang Bhutale Saramanam Kadamayham Dadati Sa Padantikam. Thank you all for the opportunity to express myself on this auspicious day.
Thank you, Prabhuji, so much for your beautiful offering. And again, my apologies. I have to do this task of limiting the time, but hopefully we can get more time and spend more time during Shri Gurudev's appearance day to share our heartfelt realizations. So thanks again, Prabhuji. I will now request Vimla Didi ji to please make her offering. So, is Vimla Didi here? Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Didi, we can hear you. So can you switch on your video also?
It's
Yeah, you can.
Just one second. Okay. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikayai Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Shila Narayan Goswami Tinamine. Namo Vishnupadaya Keshav Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Shila Vaman Goswami Tinamine. Vancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. तो चलिए श्री गुरु एंड गौरांग की असीम कृपा से हम लोग आज की शुभ तिथि पर अपने गुरु वर्गों स्पेशली गुरुदेव श्रीला भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज एंड गुरुदेव श्रीला भक्ति वेदांत श्री वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की महिमा का कुछ गुणगान श्रवण कीर्तन करने के लिए एकत्रित हुए हैं। थोड़ा सा गुरु तत्व के बारे में जो अभी रिसेंटली गुरुदेव की कथाओं से सुना, मैं आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहती हूँ। कोटि कोटि जन्मों की सुकृतियों के बाद बद्ध जीव माया से दग्ध होकर संसार से त्राण पाने के लिए जब भगवान के चरणों में प्रार्थना करता है, तो भगवान परम करुणा में भगत वत्सल भगवान श्री कृष्ण अपने ही रूप और स्वरूप को गुरु के रूप में भेजते हैं। सनातन दास गोस्वामी एक भजन में लिखते हैं, जीवेर निस्तार लागी नंद सुत हरि भुवने प्रकाशपान गुरु रूप। कि नंद सुत हरि स्वयं भगवान जीवों का कल्याण करने के लिए गुरु रूप धारण करते हैं। भागवत में, श्रीमद् भागवत में भी भगवान श्री कृष्ण उद्धव जी को स्वयं कहते हैं कि आचार्य माम भी जानिए, कि मेरे को ही आचार्य जानो। तो इन वाक्यों के अनुसार हम समझ सकते हैं कि गुरु तत्व और भगवत तत्व में कुछ भी अंतर नहीं है। गुरुदेव ने एक वाक्य कोट किया जो बहुत कॉमन है, लेकिन हम इसको बहुत बचपन में भी सुनते थे, लेकिन उसका क्या सही अर्थ है वो गुरुदेव के ही कथाओं से पता चला है कि गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरु देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। कि ब्रह्मा जी जिस तरह से सृष्टि करते हैं, उस तरह से गुरुदेव एक माली की तरह भक्ति रूपी बीज को जीवों के हृदय में आरोपित करते हैं। बीज जैसे एक मार्केट में बीज है, वो कभी भी स्प्राउट नहीं होगा जब तक उसको बोया नहीं जाए। तो गुरुदेव ही इस भक्ति बीज को जो हमारे हृदय में है, लेकिन उसको बोते हैं गुरुदेव। और विष्णु जिस तरह से सृष्टि का पालन पोषण करते हैं, गुरुदेव उस तरह से अपनी कथाओं से, मोर देन दैट, अपनी स्नेह ममता और संबंध ज्ञान अभिधेय और प्रयोजन के तत्वों को समझा करके इस बीज को एक पौधा बनाते हैं, स्प्राउट करते हैं, फिर पौधा बनाते हैं, और जिसमें से प्रेम रूपी, कृष्ण प्रेम रूपी फल निकलता है। तो ये कार्य भी गुरुदेव ही करते हैं विष्णु की तरह। और शिव जी जिस तरह से संहार करते हैं, इस तरह से एक सद्गुरु हमारे अनर्थों को, हमारे दोषों को, हमारे कमियों को दूर करते हैं, हमें बताते हैं कि हमें क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए। तो इस तरह से गुरु हुए ब्रह्मा विष्णु और महेश। अब साक्षात परम ब्रह्म कैसे हुए गुरु? तो गुरुदेव समझा रहे हैं कि साक्षात परम ब्रह्म कैसे हो गए गुरुदेव। तो गुरुदेव समझा रहे हैं कि प्रेम के दो एस्पेक्ट हैं, एक विषय और एक आश्रय। तो भगवान कृष्ण प्रेम के विषय हैं, ही इज ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ लव, एंड श्री गुरुदेव प्रेम के आश्रय हैं, ही इज सपोर्ट ऑफ लव, अबोर्ड ऑफ लव। तो आश्रय और विषय विग्रहों को मिला करके ही साक्षात परम ब्रह्म पूर्ण रूप से प्रकाशित होता है। यदि एक को निकाल दिया जाए तो वो पूर्ण परम ब्रह्म नहीं बनेगा। तो इसलिए इस वाक्य में जो ये बोला है कि गुरु साक्षात परम ब्रह्म, तो ये सत्य बात है। तो गुरुदेव प्रेम के विषय, प्रेम के आश्रय हैं, और इसीलिए गुरुदेव के आश्रय हो करके ही हमें भगवान का कृष्ण प्रेम की प्राप्ति हो सकती है। इसके बिना कदापि संभव नहीं है। आश्रय करिया बंदो श्री गुरु चरण, जहां हईते मिले भाई कृष्ण प्रेम धन। तो यस्य प्रसादाद भगवत प्रसादो, कि एक गुरु की प्रसन्नता से ही भगवान की प्रसन्नता होती है, और एक गुरु की कृपा से ही भगवान की कृपा की प्राप्ति होती है। तो गुरुदेव, टाइम 2-4 मिनट और। तो गुरुदेव की मीठी मीठी मधुर मधुर यादें कि जो लोगों से सुनी है कि गुरुदेव पूरे ब्रह्मांड को तारने की शक्ति रखते हैं। महाप्रभु जी का एक एक जन पूरे ब्रह्मांड का उद्धार कर सकता है, लेकिन गुरुदेव इतने शक्तिशाली सशक्त होते हुए भी कितने अमानी थे और कितने मानदेन थे। अभी रिसेंटली एक कथा में गुरुदेव बता रहे हैं, वो पूर्वी देशों में ऑस्ट्रेलिया वगैरह में प्रचार करने जाना है उनको, तो सब मथुरा वासियों के सामने बैठे हैं और गुरुदेव कह रहे हैं कि कल मुझे पूर्वी देशों में प्रचार करने जाना है और आप सभी लोग 4 बजे आ जाना और मेरे को आशीर्वाद देना। गुरुदेव कहते हैं मेरे को आशीर्वाद देना, क्योंकि आप भक्त हैं, धामवासी हैं, और आपके आशीर्वाद के बिना मैं महाप्रभु जी की वाणी का निर्विघ्न रूप से प्रचार नहीं कर पाऊंगा। तो देखो गुरुदेव कितने ऊंची स्थिति में प्रतिष्ठित है। राधा जी की बड़ी नियर एंड डियर सेविका, जिसको स्वयं भगवान कृष्ण भी उसको चाहते हैं, उस तरह से सेवा करना चाहते हैं राधा रानी की। तो गुरुदेव उस पोजीशन पर स्थित हैं, लेकिन कितने अमानी हैं कि मथुरा वासियों कॉमन लोगों से आशीर्वाद मांग रहे हैं। और एक और गुरुदेव की बड़ी टचिंग स्टोरी, छोटी सी स्टोरी नहीं है, 2 लाइनें ही है, कि एक बार एक भक्त ने गुरुदेव से, किसी व्यक्ति ने गुरुदेव से हरि नाम दीक्षा ली और वो बहुत सालों बाद तक गायब हो गया। फिर वो एक बार गुरुदेव से परिक्रमा पे मिलने आया और गुरुदेव उसको देख के बड़े प्रसन्न हुए और वो गुरुदेव को प्रणाम करके बोला कि मैं अब जा रहा हूँ। तो गुरुदेव उसको बोलते हैं कि तू मुझे क्यों छोड़ के जा रहा है? तूने मेरे में क्या कमी देखी है? क्या मेरे से कोई अपराध हो गया है कि तू मुझे छोड़ के जा रहा है? तो देखो गुरुदेव के अंदर कितना एक-एक अपने शिष्य के प्रति कितनी कंपैशन है, कितना उसका गुरुदेव अपने आप को कितना दीनहीन बना करके, अपने आप को एकदम नीचे ला करके एक जीव की रक्षा करने के लिए किस तरह से प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं। तो गुरुदेव सब जगह धाम के दर्शन करते थे। कुछ 1-2 बातें और, विष्णु प्रभु 2 मिनट।
या अब समय हो गया है।
चलो बस मैं पूरा कर रही हूँ। तो गुरुदेव एक बार बैजर में हैं, बैजर के भक्तों के आगे बोल रहे हैं कि किस तरह से गुरुदेव कैन सी एवरीवेयर, ही इज एवरीवेयर। तो गुरुदेव कह रहे हैं कि बैजर के भक्तों से कह रहे हैं कि मैं जब आ रहा था तो मैंने वृक्षों को रोते हुए देखा, वृक्षों को रोते हुए देखा, आपके प्रभुपाद जी के विरह में वो रो रहे थे। तो प्रभुपाद जी की महिमा आज भी कण कण में विराजमान है, गुरुदेव उनको बोल रहे हैं। और एक बार मानसरोवर पे थे हम एक बार, मुझे याद थी, तो गुरुदेव वृक्षों के बीच में से गुजर रहे थे और एक वृक्ष के पास खड़े होकर के बोले कि ये बहुत बड़े संत हैं, ये वृक्ष, ये बहुत बड़े संत महात्मा हैं, इनको प्रणाम करो। और एक बार और एक जगह रुक कर बोले कि ये जितने भी वृक्ष हैं, ये हजारों सालों से मेरा इंतजार कर रहे हैं, मेरा इंतजार कर रहे हैं। तो किस तरह से गुरुदेव सब जगह पे विराजमान है। तो गुरुदेव छोटी छोटी चीजों से बहुत प्रसन्न हो जाते थे। कभी भी वो पैसे को नहीं देखते थे, किसी बड़ी वस्तु को नहीं देखते थे, वो केवल एक भावना को देखते थे। छोटी छोटी चीजों से प्रसन्न हो जाते थे। कुछ उनके लिए दाल बना दो, कुछ उनके लिए चीला बना दो, करेला बना दो, उससे इतने प्रसन्न हो जाते थे और इतनी बड़ाई करते थे कि मतलब इट्स अमेजिंग कि उनके अंदर इतना शिष्य, अपना वात्सल्य प्रेम भरा पड़ा था उनके अंदर। और इस वात्सल्य प्रेम ही मतलब हमारी यादें हैं, हमारे जीवन का सहारा है। और गुरुदेव की बुक्स तो बस कमाल ही है। उन्होंने अपने पूरे मतलब हृदय को अपनी बुक्स में डाला हुआ है। तो मैंने अपनी आंखों से देखा है कि किस तरह से हमारे घर पे एक बार गुरुदेव बुक्स लिखते थे, किस तरह से उसमें डूबे होते थे, एकदम मेल्टेड, एकदम जैसे उन भावों में डूबे होते थे। तो एक बार बस 1 सेकंड की, एक बार गुरुदेव जा रहे थे, वो मतलब मैं उनसे मिलने के लिए जाना चाहती थी, तो बड़ी मुश्किल से मैं गई। तो गुरुदेव बुक लिख रहे थे और बस मैं 5 मिनट कम से कम वहां खड़ी रही होंगी और गुरुदेव को कोई पता नहीं कि मैं वहां खड़ी हूँ। मतलब बिल्कुल उनके नजदीक, लेकिन उनको कोई पता नहीं, वो इतने डूबे हुए थे कि मतलब किस तरह से वो बुक्स लिखते थे। तो उनका हृदय पूरा, तो हमें गुरुदेव की बुक्स को सब जगह बांटना चाहिए, उनका प्रचार करना चाहिए, खुद भी पढ़ना चाहिए और औरों को भी प्रेरित करना चाहिए। तो आज बस गुरुदेव के चरणों में और पूज्यपाद श्री भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज जी के चरणों में मैं बस यही प्रार्थना करती हूँ कि हे गुरुदेव, आप हमें अपने चरणों में रखना और अपनी भक्ति देना, अपनी सेवा में लगाए रखना। थैंक यू सो मच। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Didi, for a very beautiful offering again. You are right that Gurudev was so absorbed in writing his books. This was his greatest um, contribution, greatest gift. And Gurudev, once he was at our home and we used to always do a massage. And after that, Gurudev sat and he said, after I leave, then people will realize what I have given in my books. So the more we distribute these books, more people will come to the path of Krishna consciousness. So thank you once again, Didi. I will request Subal Sakha Prabhu now to speak. We have 3 or 4 more speakers, so please everyone stay with us, and we'll may go a little bit beyond 9 o'clock, but I think that should be fine.
Om Jnana-timirindasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chaksuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Sri Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Iti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Iti Namine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'd like to offer my Dandavat Koti Lakho Dandavat Pranams to Srila Gurudev and to Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Today is the 11th day disappearance of Srila Gurudev. And, I'm just reflecting about Gurudev and how much he gave us. As Tarun Krishna Prabhu said, Hatuki Kripa, causeless mercy. And he was so personal always with us. There was never any Aishwarya Bhav with Gurudev. He was like our father and everything to us. But Srila Gurudev, as many of you have said, that he came to give something, Unnat Ujjwal Ras Bhakti Rasisriyam. When Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, when he was leaving this world, he said that I'm not very happy, actually. I'm not very happy. So why you're not very happy? Because I came to give this Rupanuga Bhakti, this Bhakti of the line of Srila Rupa Goswami, but I was not able to give. I recently read a lecture by Pujapad Vaman Goswami Maharaj, and I was very attracted to that lecture. In that lecture, Vaman Goswami Maharaj says that we should have Abhiman. For what? We should have Abhiman that we are Rupa Nuga Vaishnavas. And of course, in the same lecture, he mentions that this is a very, very high thing. It's not, it's a very high thing. But he says we should have Abhiman for that. We should have pride that we are Rupa Nuga Vaishnavas, although we have no qualification for that, for being a Rupa Nuga Vaishnava. We should have the Abhiman, just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that in that song, Radha Bhajana Rasya, what he says in that we should have Radha Bhajana Jadi Hoy Abhiman Shigrai Mine Gokulukan. So this Abhiman, and even though we don't have a drop of qualification, still our acharyas want us to have this. And we would ask Gurudev, these things are so high, how we will reach there? How we will go there? And Gurudev would smile and he would say, yes, that's why I am here. What am I here for? What is my purpose? I'm here to make everything possible for us. So that is the mercy of Srila Gurudev. And one time I wrote a letter to Srila Gurudev because I had a doubt. He said that he offered us to Srila Rupa Goswami. So I wrote a letter to Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev, you say you offer us to Srila Rupa Goswami. Have you already offered me to Srila Rupa Goswami? And Gurudev said that I've offered already, but I've offered everybody. He's offered all of us, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting that we become qualified. Humko adhikar ho is baare mein. He's waiting for us to become qualified. We do bhajan, that we follow this process and we do bhajan. And of course, bhajan is 0% chance of success without the mercy of Srila Gurudev and the Vaishnavas. I was also reflecting today, a lot of times when Gurudev was here, time went so fast that we sometimes forget so many things. And we then, today I was thinking some things about Srila Gurudev, and I was thinking how we met Srila Gurudev. And I remembered that before I met Srila Gurudev, I was a student in Boston. And I was in ISKCON at that time, but I had a nice association with some Brajvasi who was living there. And in that time, a little bit of attraction came for Srimati Radharani. And so we had gone to Braj Mandal. We had gone one time. I didn't know Gurudev that time. And I was asking many people that, how I can get Radha Charan Dasi, how I can be, although I had no idea what that means. I had zero qualification, but still I went around. I asked many Babajis this, how will I get, somebody told me that, oh, you should meditate 4 a.m. And most of them told me they actually had no answer. I even asked some ISKCON gurus. I asked a lot of people these things, but nobody gave me an answer that satisfied me, that said, oh, okay, now I know. And one time, I had not met Gurudev yet, and I spoke to him on the phone. And I asked the same question to him, Srila Gurudev, I want Radha Charan Dasim. And the answer he gave me was so perfect. He said, that is why I have come here. I have come to give this only. Only Guru who has can give, right? He gave. Nobody told me that answer that I already have it, I can give you. Only Gurudev said, that is why I have come. I have come to give this only to everybody. And that time I knew that he's the most perfect Guru. There's nobody else who was as perfect as, because nobody gave me the right answer. I asked many ISKCON devotees, I asked Maharajas, I asked devotees in Brajvasis also I asked, but nobody could tell me that they have Radharani and they can give this Radharani to us. So like this, so many things are there to say. And today also is the appearance day of Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And we heard the stories that our Guru Parampara, Guru Varga can perform miracles, but they have not come here to perform miracles, of course. They can easily do, that is not their purpose. Their purpose is to give us this very high thing, Bhakti Ujjwal, Bhakti Rasasriyam, as was the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread all over this world. Vaman Goswami Maharaj, I only remember, I never met him, but I heard few stories. One story I will share very quickly. There was one time there was a festival, I think it was in Navadvip. And that time a big storm was coming. You know, it was a 7-day festival, a big storm was coming. You may have heard this story. So one of Vaman Goswami Maharaj's disciple, he went to Vaman Goswami Maharaj. He said, "Can you do something? You know, this storm is coming." He said, "Okay, I will take care of it. Don't worry." So that storm didn't come that day. So next day, again, there was a storm. And the same disciple, he came to Vaman Goswami Maharaj. He said, "Can you do something?" He said, "I cannot keep asking for favors like this to Indradev. I cannot keep asking. Now we have to manage whatever it is." So like that also, Gurudev showed so many miraculous pastimes. But that's not the true glories of Gurudev. True glories of Gurudev is really who he is. That he's a Raman Manjari, he's a Radhika's Palya Dasi, he's a Manjari, and he has come to give us this. He has come to give us this thing that he wants us to develop a greed, you know, and he gave so many instructions to me personally. I only pray to his lotus feet and to Vaman Goswami Maharaj and to our Guru Parampara that only by his mercy, I'm trying, but it is not easy. You know, it is really not easy, but I'm trying to fulfill whatever instructions he gave me. And I'm praying for their mercy and their help that I can, you know, become qualified to follow whatever they ask me, you know. And one thing I want to share this, it may be a little bit our difference, but I was listening to, there's a famous person called Ray Dalio, you may have heard his name, and he wrote, suddenly I read something he wrote. He said that, you know, one thing that we don't do is that we don't realize our own weaknesses. We don't, you know, focus on our weaknesses. We only try to focus on what we can do, what's good about us. But he said, really, it's a story of, you know, to be successful, we have to realize our weaknesses and we have to work on our weaknesses. And so then I realized this thing. Then I said that, yeah, that's so true, you know, that I have weaknesses that are impediments to my bhajan, they're impediments to my success. And I started to, you know, pray to Gurudev, and I started telling Gurudev, I have this weakness. I cannot do it myself. I need your help. And that itself, that prayer I made, you know, it is like, you know, the Christians say that you, what do they call that? Confession. And I started to talk about my weaknesses to Srila Gurudev, like when I was going to sleep at the night time, and I would tell Gurudev, I cannot do this myself. I need your help. This is the weakness that I have, you know, and I need your help. It felt so purifying. It felt so nice, you know, and you know, you never know what you learn from, you know, people. We can use it as long as we use it to advance in our own bhajan, in our own bhakti. So I will stop there. Very good.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Again, my apologies for trying to limit the time, but unfortunately, that we are all under the control of time. So thanks again, and you know, thanks for sharing that how Shri Gurudev had this treasure of Radha Dasyam, and that's the reason he could give it. Unless one has it, one cannot give it. So we are so fortunate to have come under the shelter of his lotus feet and you know, try to become his true disciples by understanding what he has given and then also sharing it with others, because this is what really the world needs. This is the conception that everyone is you know, waiting for, pining for. So thank you once again, Prabhuji. Now I'll request Vedvyas Prabhu to please share some realizations and glories of Shri Gurudev. Vedvyas Prabhu, are you there? So Gopijan Vallabh Prabhu is, yeah, okay.
Okay, Prabhu. Vara Chandaya Radhikaya Talaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Namo Namaha So first of all, I offer my unlimited and not pronounced until the lotus feet of my divine spiritual initiating master, Nityala Pravistam Vishnupada, Stotra Sata Srimad Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, who is an ocean of mercy, and I pray at his lotus feet for his mercy. And then also to Nityala Pravistam Vishnupada, Stotra Sata Srimad Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, who is also an ocean of mercy. And then to Nityala Pravistam Vishnupada, Stotra Sata Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, who also is an ocean of mercy. And I pray to them and to all our Guru Varga, so they bestow their mercy upon me and to all Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis gathered here on this very auspicious day. That Gurudev disappeared 11 years ago, and also the appearance day of his god brother, who is also Mahabhagavat, Srila Bhaman Maharaj. And by the way, also is the appearance day of Sripad Premananda Prabhu. So it came by Gurudev's inspiration. I wanted to speak about this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, they made a book from this because Gurudev gave like a lecture about this verse. The book, maybe you all know it very well. Gurudeva Tatma is the title. So it says, Bhayam Ditya Bini Beshata Syat Ishat Apetasya Viparaya Smriti Tan Mayayato Buddha Abhayetam Bhaktaka Yesham Guru Deva Tatma. And translation, of course, many of you know it very well. Fear arises when a living entity misidentifies himself as the material body because of absorption in the external illusory energy of the Lord. When the living entity thus turns away from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets his own constitutional position as a servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency for illusion called Maya. Therefore, an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master whom he should accept as his worshipable deity and as his very life and soul. So, as this very nice devotees already spoke, that we should serve Gurudev, right, all the time, even when he disappeared, because he's always present. Guru Tattva is always going on. So we should try our best to fill our lives with Guru Seva. That should be our only duty. As Gurudev said, should be our only possession, our Guru Seva. Well, I'm just speaking, I wish could be more like practice than just speaking and saying this, because it has not so much power, just speaking and not practicing. So anyway, just because Vishnu Prabhu asked me to speak, he's my senior, and if we glorify these Mahabhagavats on their appearance or disappearance day, then they will give us much more mercy to keep increasing our bhakti. So yes, it's very nice these days to really focus on what's the goal of life and get more enthusiasm to do service and to be in association, and never forget Gurudev and Krishna. So yeah, I just wanted to speak this very little, and thank you for the opportunity. And Vancha Kalpatagascha Kripasindhavacha Patitanam Pavaneo Vaisnava Namo Namah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your sweet offering, and we are so happy to have you here with all of us. So thank you once again. Now we'll have Vrinda Didi speak, and after her we will conclude with a very beautiful presentation that Atul Prabhu has prepared, a PowerPoint presentation. So please stay with us. It's a beautiful memories presentation that he has prepared. So Vrinda Didi, over to you. You have to unmute yourself.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, so all glories to Gurudev, and my obeisances to all the devotees that are with us tonight. I came a little bit later. I came in 2011. And so I heard all the wonderful stories about Gurudev. And of course, now that we have his picture in the temple, I feel that there's times when I can communicate with Gurudev directly on a spiritual level and feel his presence. And also through all the love of all of you, I definitely feel his presence because it's so real. It's so so empowering to hear all the beautiful stories that you have to tell about Gurudev, and how important and what a meaningful presence he was in your life, and that he continues to be in your life, and what a meaningful presence he is in the temple at all times. And so when I think of Gurudev, I think of him in the spiritual plane. I think of the spiritual life, not in the physical. And since I only know him through the spiritual realm, I know that he's when you close your eyes, he's only a heartbeat away. He's only a breath away. And if you have something that you need to talk about, he's always there. So I kind of look at Gurudev sometimes and I ask him, okay, what advice would you have for me? And a couple things come to mind. Number one is, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up about stuff. You know, and especially in the temple, your bhakti is the most important thing. The love guides you. And if you make a mistake and you bump into things, oh well, you will get corrected, but don't be offended. Don't be offended. Just take it as a correction and keep on loving and keep on giving as much as I possibly can. So that's one of the messages that Gurudev has given me. And also, there's one thing I know after having buried my mom and my dad, and also recently my husband. And there's a time, yes, you love them in the physical, and you want them to be with you always. But there's a time that you need to put your selfish self aside and let them go and love them in the spiritual. And even though it's very painful for us, we have to realize that at some point their pain is greater. And we don't want that for them ever. And I know some of these diseases like congestive heart failure and cancer and some of these autoimmune diseases are ravaged the physical body. So it's really time to be loving and gentle with ourselves and to take a deep breath and to say, I give you back. I give you back to Lord Krishna. And I recently did that with my husband. I said, you take him and you do what you need to do because my work is finished. And it's your work from here on in. And I found peace in that. I found the peace to move on and to be with you all and to give my attention and my love and my seva to you in the moment. Live, and that's another lesson that Gurudev gives us all. Live in the moment. Because what bhakti does is it opens up our heart. It opens up our heart so that we can heal from the pain of loss. And we should never lose sight of that. We should keep that with us always. That's Gurudev's message to us. So this is something that's been weighing on my heart for quite a while. And I'm grateful to Lord Krishna, to Gurudev, and all the devotees to finally have a moment, a real heart-to-heart moment with all of you. Well, thank you so much, and Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, 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 Hare, Hare, Hare.
Thank you, Vrinda Didi. And it is so inspiring to see how Shri Gurudev is guiding you in such wonderful ways. And I'm sure he will guide you through this path to the highest, achieving the love of Krishna as the Palyadasi of Srimati Radhika. So keep aspiring for that. And so now finally, we have a beautiful presentation by Atul Krishna Prabhu, and where he has collected memories from around the world from devotees and created a garland of memories for everyone to hear and relish. So Atul Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, can you hear me? Vishnu Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. All glories to Param Pujyapad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj and to Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And my Hare Krishna to everybody, all the devotees, and Ramchand Prabhu, Tanmay Prabhu, Vimla Didi, Vishnu Prabhu, all the devotees, thank you for coming. So I have prepared a little bit of a presentation based upon my hard work that I have dedicated towards Gurudev. Ei rupe brahmand brahmite kono bhagyavan jeev, Guru Krishna kripa paye bhakti lata bij. It is my aho bhagya that I was selected to work with Sripad Vishnu Prabhu and his entire family and his global team of devotees to prepare, format, proofread and upload the heartfelt offerings written for SrilaGurudev.com website. This website will stand as a testament of Srila Gurudev's unflinching commitment towards fulfilling the dream and purpose of our entire Guru Parampara, and eventually Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nitai, lovingly called as Gaur Nitai. Just a brief of what we collected during this 6-month exercise. We have gathered offerings from 48 countries. The list of top 25 countries with most offerings is spread evenly around the globe. And just to name a few, not in a particular order: India, US, Brazil, Australia, Netherlands, UK, Russia, China. China was amongst the most difficult because of language translation, and Russia. But there are keen devotees who sent us the offerings: Germany, Costa Rica, Bolivia, Mexico, France, South Africa, Italy, Canada, Peru, New Zealand, Ukraine, Hong Kong, Argentina, Guyana, Philippines, Spain, and Chile. The sheer volumes of the notes, personal memories, and experiences written by each one of these devotees from each one of these countries collectively forms the eternal ocean of mercy that Srila Gurudev has left for us to relish after his departure from this world and after his entrance into the amorous, eternal pastimes of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. I would like to share some special quotes and life-changing experiences from these devotees who met Srila Gurudev at different times in the past decade and different points on the map. So sit back and relax as I take you around the globe, sitting at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev, who is my spiritual master, who clearly came to save me and many others in my circle of trust from the depths of deep, dark, endless ocean of material misery. From India, even though I had not one drop of love to offer, instead, I only had the sewage of negative thoughts, feelings, and doubts present within me, even as I looked into your eyes. Yet your causeless mercy has been the most persistent and powerful force I have ever experienced in my entire life. Radha Dasi. From United States of America, On both sides of the corridor, there were devotees, one line on each side, shoulder to shoulder. I happened to be one of them in the middle of the corridor. The place was so crowded and you were coming. I felt you were approaching really close. Then you stopped, right in front of me. I still was not looking, but I knew exactly what was going on. I felt it. You were looking at me and smiling. I was smiling inside too. I felt very happy, of course. The fact that I still was not looking at you made you smile even more. You knew exactly what was going on inside of me. Vishnu Jandas. From Brazil, I first met you at the Vyas Puja in 2010. The first instant I saw you, irresistibly I surrendered onto your lotus feet. My Srila Gurudev, Pitaji. Those 7 days still nourish me, as they do not belong to the past. They are most wonderful days of my life. I am grateful that you have left your treasure, my Shiksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, Van Goswami Maharaj, I'm sorry, to teach me who you are. Anang Manjari Devi Dasi. From Australia, I first had the fortune of meeting Srila Gurudev in around 1996-97 when I was a teenager completing secondary school in Murree-Lambha, Australia. Instantly, Srila Gurudev took my heart and put it in his pocket. There are so many memories that are sweet in their simplicity. For example, once I met Srila Gurudev in India during Kartik festival and I told him, Gurudev, I am such a donkey. Many will be aware of the analogy that Srila Gurudev makes between donkey behaviors and our clumsy attempts to exploit the environment for short-lived gratification. He replied, yes, but I am so happy to have a donkey like you. Such was the affection of this extraordinary soul for all his sons and daughters, in spite of our flaws. Damodar Priyadasi. From Netherlands, once we arrived at the accommodation where he was scheduled to give lectures, he was sitting there, peacefully chanting, looking at everybody, looking with his blue piercing eyes. And I remember the rays of sunlight fell right on him, giving him a beautiful radiance. He was truly a special soul, not like any of us, but a pure transcendental entity. When Srila Gurudev stopped chanting, he started his Harikatha by glorifying Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj with so much love and dedication. By hearing this, any drop of doubt which was there in our hearts vanished instantly. Right then, we were convinced that our Srila Gurudev has been given to us by Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj, who has been mercifully sent to us by the path that has been opened for us in the loving arms of Srila Gurudev. Gurudev declared in the end, this is not Holland anymore. From now on, this is Holy Land. We are also happy hearing this. So much love he had given us. Sham Sundar Das. From the UK, I am praying to be able to sacrifice all other desires to be able to please you. At the moment, I knew only to take, and do not know how to give. You gave me everything. The only thing that you asked for was my heart. Even if I did not want to give it, you took it anyway, like Krishna steals the butter. In your sacrifice, you gave your whole life to try to save me from drowning in the ocean of material existence. In this way, you saved me from committing suicide. You came to our house and turned it into a home, from Gramani to Grihastha, from dog consciousness to God consciousness. You gave us the knowledge of perfection of the goal of life, to achieve Yugal Kishore and to be able to take part in their pastimes with their associates. You offered me Naam and Mantra, and especially Radha Dasan, Gopi and Manjari Bhav, what Mahaprabhu came to give. You taught me how to beg and cry for Krishna with the tears of meeting and separation every time you arrived and left. Anang Mohan Das. From Russia, another very interesting experience was how much he could understand the hearts of everyone. And before I continue, by the way, this is converted from Russian. So the experiences and problems of everyone. When I first came to Srila Gurudev, I did not have any particular spiritual desires in my heart and a strong desire to even understand God. I was a normal teenager with some material desires in my head. I was struck by the fact that Srila Gurudev immediately showed me on my very gross material level that he knows my heart and will help me in my problems that are bothering me. First of all, it struck me that someone in this world knows my heart. At that time, I didn't really understand that Srila Gurudev is the eternal companion of the Lord. In this way, Srila Gurudev, simply by understanding the mood of the Jiva's heart, could attract her to the spiritual process. And through this understanding, Srila Gurudev stole many hearts of the conditioned Jivas of this world. Having prem for Sri Radha Madhav, Srila Gurudev had this incomparable compassion and love for the Baddha Jivas. Even a completely new person could feel this absolute causeless love on himself. At one festival, Srila Gurudev said to the disciple, "You have no idea how much you are suffering in this world. You don't even realize it." Being at a very high level of awareness, Srila Gurudev showed how the Jivas are similar to mere small children who do not understand what they are doing and where they are going. They are just ignorant. Srila Gurudev's compassion for conditioned living entities and his desire to give them the true path of realization of their eternal relationship with Krishna was amazing. Bhavni Dasi. From Germany, I cannot repay what you have done for me. You gave me shelter at your lotus feet, though I am so unqualified and full of lust, anger, and all other bad qualities a Baddha Jiva has. It is astonishing that you have accepted me as your disciple. When my wife, Braj Baladasi, and I were praying to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to send us a pure guru, because we read it on almost every page of his book, that you must have a pure devotee as your guru, then we met you. When my wife and I came then for the first time to meet you in Mathura Math, we said to you that we are looking for a pure devotee. You answered, "Oh, there are so many other gurus." But as time passed, I knew for sure that to meet someone like you is very rare. I miss you so much now and hope we will all soon be together again. I know you will never leave me, and hopefully when we meet again, I desire to not to have to leave you ever again. Akhilesh Das. From China, this was sent in the Chinese language. Praying to my beloved Gurudev. "O Gurudev, it is you who delivered me from this dangerous place, but I am so foolish that I still have many, many attachments. Please bestow your mercy to this fallen soul. Let me also desire for your service. Without your mercy, I am going to die." Lavanglata Dasi. From Costa Rica, connecting with the Absolute through his sound vibration is the only method. It is the only way Harer Naam Kevalam can be achieved. Chanting and hearing Harinam is what we all are about. Harinam is eternal. It is simply a means to, it is not simply a means to an end. It is the topmost activity in the topmost reality, now and forever. It is God in the sound form. Sometimes we may awe on Srila Gurudev's good fortune taking the form of a disbelief. I genuinely tell myself sometimes, it's too good to be true. We can't be this lucky. Is this for real? Sometimes I doubt. But Sri Guru and all the Vaishnavas are so merciful. They remind me that this impossibly good fortune is real. And yet, time and again, we forget about it. This is the nature of the Jiva, forgetfulness. Giridhari Das. So finally, we have to appreciate now and remind ourselves that many of these devotees have never associated even with a sadhu before. They don't know what are the Indian scriptures or the Sanatan sadhu way of life, and what is the concept of a blissful shelter of an acharya. And yet in these offerings, they speak of only one common theme, the concept of surrender towards Srila Gurudev and the pure devotion for serving him. If this doesn't inspire you to be a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to follow the path of Radha Dasyam and to take the divine shelter of Srila Gurudev, what else will? Trinadapi Sunichena Tarodapi Saheshnunam Amanina Manadena Kirtanyo Sadahari Ha Devi Kakuvar Gadgad Yache Vacha Yache Nipatra Bhuvi Dandapatu Pattarthi Asya Prasadam Buddhasya Janasya Kritva Gandharvi Ke Tav Gani Nijgani Gananam Videhi Vancha Kalpatru Bhecha Kripa Sindhu Behi Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and thank you for all the devotees for listening to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, thank you Atul, Prabhuji, for collecting these snippets from the offerings of various devotees across the globe. All these offerings are there on shrilgurudev.com, almost 1100 offerings. So it's very inspiring to go through them. So anytime when you are needing more inspiration, go and read these offerings, and they will really, really inspire you with the glories of Shri Gurudev. So once again, thank you everyone for joining. I just wanted to, before leaving, wanted to share, we didn't get much time to speak about Pujyapad Shri Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. As per some devotees, today is his 100th appearance day, and Shri Gurudev mentioned that Pujyapad Vaman Maharaj was elder to him. So we're not sure exactly, but as per some devotees, today is his 100th appearance day. So we pray at his divine lotus feet also to give us the same mood of Guru Nishtha as he had. Gurudev shares so many inspiring stories about Shri Vaman Maharaj. And one of his great qualities was that he was extremely humble. He said that I have not accepted this post of an acharya only because actually he did not want to even become a sannyasi. He did not even want to become an acharya, but upon the insistence of all the senior devotees, he accepted this, because this was also the desire of Param Gurudev. But he always demonstrated extreme humility. Those of you who have had his darshan would remember that there was always a little plate next to his hymn which instructed not to touch his feet. So he never wanted to accept any honor, but he was an amazing personality, very powerful personality. And when he spoke so flawlessly that one could simply just type it up and get it printed. There was no mistake of any type, either in his speaking or even in his writing. And there's a beautiful collection. I don't know, many of you might have not seen it, but this is a beautiful collection of 108 letters that he has written by his own hand. And I can just tell you, it's amazing ocean of very deep instructions and realization of Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And today there's also a book published of his letters in English. So these are two books which are very important for our collection. So try and get them. So once again, thank you everyone for joining today's Zoom program. We pray at the lotus feet of Shri Gurudev and Pujyapad Shri Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj to bless us and give us the intelligence and strength to sincerely follow the path that they have shown, and so we can apply ourselves to do a little service for them. Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.